So we're at UK Tech Metal Fest 2013. We're here with Art of a Coward. Just say your name and what you do in the band.
Jamie, vocalist. Noddy, drums.
So you guys have been through a bit of a journey to get here. Suffice to say, you've been playing a bunch of festivals and a bunch of shows. You came from Russia.
Yeah.
Just go through exactly what the schedule was to get here.
8.5 hour night train from St. Petersburg to Moscow. 13 hours at the airport. 4.5 hour flight. 4 or 5 hours sleep, and then drive straight here.
Then there was the train journey.
So yeah, we had the train journey like to actually get to St. Petersburg as well, and then also, of course, the flight from the UK to Russia.
Everything that could have gone wrong with that journey always went.
We had 50 Chinese ladies on the night train, literally just the loudest cacophony of high-pitched voices I've ever heard in my life. And I fully lost my shit at about 4:30 in the morning. And, you know, you get in these like the booths on the train, you have like the bunks.
Yeah.
We're sleeping in these bunks that are about 4 foot long. You can't actually extend yourself. No ventilation. There's a smoking carriage on the carriage with no windows in it. Everybody's constantly smoking in there, so it might as well be a smoking train all the way down. So we're sitting there festering in our own vomit, trying to sleep to the warming sound of 50 Chinese old age pensioners gaggling about their knitting. And I basically poked my head out the door and told them if they don't shut the fuck up, I was going to skin them alive and hang them out from the train. They were quiet quite quickly, but I kind of felt like I was going to go to hell after that.
You probably already were kind of in hell anyway.
Yeah, there's a special place reserved for us, as Noddy says. Velvet rope. Little corner with a velvet rope saying Heart of a Coward, just waiting for us.
So it's almost like a PSA to bands that say, oh, I want to grow up and I want to be in a band, I want to tour. That's what touring is like.
Pretty much, yeah.
So how, like, when you have that sort of schedule, how do you kind of mentally prepare yourself? I have to play a show tonight. Obviously.
Just be sensible with your water intake and the amount you're smoking, and look after your diet and have vitamins and try and get rest. If you're not going to get to sleep, just sit and shut the fuck up. Don't waste your energy.
That's about all we can really say. As soon as you step up there, automatically just do it anyway.
Is it a muscle memory thing, kind of?
It is. It's a bit different for me for vocals. Like if I'm really, really, really exhausted and dehydrated, I find it fucking hard to get the high notes and stuff. But, and you know, obviously your stamina suffers when you're really tired. But we try and make the best of it when we're really knackered. We've never had shows go really badly, but you do definitely notice if you haven't slept properly the night before. It's not as much fun.
Yeah. That's just something that comes along with touring.
It is, yeah. And you have to just get on with it. If you complain about feeling tired, you shouldn't be in a touring band, really.
So, away from all that hellish stuff, and you recently got signed to Century Media.
We have, yeah.
How did it feel to be to go to such a it's a really big label?
It
both
is.
Europe and America. So, how did it feel how did that all come together, and how does it feel to be on it?
It feels fucking great. Obviously, it's a huge label. They've had some great releases, and some great back catalogue, and they've got the largest actual staff faculty in the world out of any metal label. It's like 75 people or something.
Perfect label for us, really, for what we want to do.
I mean, I've got my work stuff kind of ties us fairly closely to them in that, like I'm good friends with a few of the guys there and deal with them quite a lot for work stuff anyway, so it made a lot of sense from a business side and a trust side to be dealing with Century Media, because they're very straight ahead, there's no bullshit, they've got a very organised and routine way of dealing with the admin side of the bands and the accounting and the product management. So,
and you had a personal connection, as you said there.
the personal connection was important, and then obviously we've got a lot of friends on Century Media as well, like Monuments, Tesseract, Bleed From Within.
And they all had great things to say.
Exactly. So yeah, it was a no-brainer.
And when did it actually all come together? Like, how long was it before, hey guys, we want to sign you, and then it was all public? How long has it been in the pipeline for?
We've had label interest for, since before Hope and Hindrance. We decided we wanted to do that out ourselves. Retain the rights for the back catalogue, so that when we do eventually get a larger deal, it'll be worth more to us, and we've got freedom to do what we want with it, which is where we are now. We paid off. But the actual Century Media thing came last year. towards Christmas, started having conversations with Jens and Robert, Steve, Joe. And then by April, May? April. Yeah, we were signed by April. Got all the negotiations figured out by like the end of February.
So with Hope and Hindrance, it was like I've showed the album to some people, and just even the artwork and sort of the media production for it, like there was like a really professional but self-promoted, like it's all self-release and everything. How much work did that take to kind of get out such a really slick professional product out just on your own? Like
we just had to be organised, man. Like again, pulling in favours from friends as well, isn't it? Like
we went through a lot to get that album out.
Yeah,
I think that's why we called it Hindrance.
Yeah,
because there was the hope that we'll get the fucking album out.
But we were constantly hindered. The album was started before I even joined the band and before Steve joined the band, so it's a combination of four songs that are nearly 5 years old, and there's like Killing Fields, Nightmare and Shade are the only three that I wrote lyrics on. All the rest were written before, so this new album's the first album that we've all written as a five. It's very different. It still sounds like us, but it's very different.
Yeah, like with Deadweight, it like seems to kind of like even the production and the song itself kind of leans more like the hardcore side. Like it doesn't have this like kind of fuzz to it. The album, the Hope and Hindrance was kind of clean, but this has this really crunching.
Yeah, we've gone for a much heavier sound for sure.
Yeah.
Deadweight's definitely like the meat and potatoes song on the record. Like it's the kind of the quick fix live hit anthem sort of thing. There's no singing, there's no polyrhythms, there's no aggressive sections. It's just a smack to the face.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of songs on the album that are a lot more dynamic. We pretty much dropped the Milton Clears guitar tone. We've gone for proper valve tones for the guitars, mic'd up. It's not direct. It's not axe effects. It's mic'd up cabs. The drums are a lot more organic.
We wanted to strip it down to get rid of the clean tones.
Yeah. Just strip the whole sound down, really.
And that was like a sort of a really conscious decision. This is what we want to do now.
But some bands go, we want to be more technical. We want to showcase our arrangements. We want to be more lead guitar driven. And we pretty much went the opposite direction. Deadweight's definitely the most basic song on the album in terms of the guitar parts. I think a lot of people were like, where's all the groove gone, where's all the lead gone? And I think they're expecting an album. If you're expecting an album full of Deadweights, then you'll be very disappointed, basically. But it's definitely more varied. It's a lot more cohesive as well. Hope and Hindrance was kind of a mishmash of a lot of different songs and sounds, and even the lyrical directions were very different because they were all written by different lyricists. So this album's the first kind of cohesive piece of music that we've gone, right, this is us, this is the band, this is what we sound like.
And lyrically, as I said, the last couple on Hope and Hindrance, there's a whole bunch of different lyricists.
Yeah.
And lyrically on this album, it's all you.
Yeah.
So, like, what kind of direction do you want to take it? Is it kind of like Deadweight or like personal experience sort of stuff?
All of the songs are personal, but they're not all around the same sort of thing. But there is a running theme going throughout the album of basically removing yourself from the sort of. Basically it's very easy to kind of fall into a trap and a spiral of sort of depression and anger. Like the angrier you get, the less chance you have of sort of getting rid of that anger, and the more chances are that anger is going to affect other people, and it goes with any negative connotation in your life. And then the other running theme is society's obsession with social status, and basically relying on the success of other people or exploiting other people to make their own lives better. But yeah, there's a lot of quite personal angles on it, but they're all stuff that we feel quite strongly about. It's definitely not political record, but
no, it's not political. I mean, what you like out of it, yeah.
It's more social. Like if you're talking about it in that respect, we've definitely got strong views on certain things, but they're more based on how we like to live our lives and how the things where we see other people. It's not like a self-righteous thing, but sometimes we just want to fucking stamp on people's heads. You know, like I've met some real dick bags in my time, and I just don't want to be anything like those people. That's what the album's about. It's just people who are on a self-destructive pattern and want to drag other people down with them. We've just got no time for people like that. None of us do. That's why we all get on so well as a band. We're all doing it for the same reason. We enjoy it. We enjoy each other's company. We're not trying to be the biggest band in the world and make a big statement or reinvent any genre. We just play music that we love. We're glad that people reciprocate to that.
And compared to Hope and Hindrance, which as you said, it's like it's been over many, many years, how quickly did the new album come together with everybody kind of
It's like a fucking fart, so quick.
Yeah. We shat it out hard. 6 months really when we look back. We set the studio up at my house and we did it to track it out. It was about 6 months and it came together really quickly.
It was nuts.
I couldn't believe it. We were really worried. We were like, shit.
Steve joining the band played a big part of the speed, because even though Carl and Steve they're kind of pretty much 50-50 in terms of the riffs that they were bringing to the album. V got a lot more involved in riffs. I got a lot more involved in the arrangements. Noddy obviously always writes his drum parts anyway, but just as like a five, we had a lot more input as to where we wanted the songs to go. But Steve was a real catalyst with that, because we found, you know, we've had in the past like people who it's quite difficult to work with in terms of just settling an idea and moving, you know, letting it breathe and moving on to another one, not just obsessing over the same. So that's another thing of taking a step back and just stripping down our approach and being like, if it feels good, let's leave it there, come back to it.
We're not going to try and put another clean part over the top, we're not trying to put another layer here.
Yeah. It's the same with the vocals as well, like there's very little double tracking on the album, like pretty much everything is one track, straight up the middle, one take, you know, I've done very little punch-ins, very little overdubs, you know, it's pretty much all one take, and if we didn't nail the song in a take, we'd just keep doing it. Whilst on the last album it was like, we'd record a line, we'd listen back, we'd do another line, we'd listen back.
So it's a lot more of a more organic album.
Way more organic, yeah, in pretty much every single way. Even the artwork is, you know, it's not as stylish and polished.
So like that's essentially ready to go really, that's all packaged up and done?
It's nearly done, it's getting mixed in America at the moment by Will Putney. Cool. He did Die Out as Murder and North Lane and Suicide Silence and a bunch of other records that we really like the sound of, like Insurrection by Molotov Solution.
Oh yeah.
It was all tracked in Milton Keynes, so
yeah, it's tracked with Apple.
He lives around the corner from me, so it's easy to go to his house.
He's a good friend of the band's as well, so it was good to record with someone who was, you know, nice and laid back. If he was any more laid back, he'd be horizontal. So it was a nice environment for the guys to work in.
Sure, yeah.
And
what's up with Milton
London,
Keynes and everybody? Like even there's the term Milton Keynes. What's up with Milton Keynes and
Milton
this
Keynes
scene?
is just
that's
the guitar type.
the tone. But what's up with like? There's like a million bands from this scene just from Milton Keynes.
There's fuck all to do up there. That's why.
There's actually not that many. I mean,
There used to be.
There's really like the ones that are there really like.
The Aqua Brown obviously did the silent thing, then that split onto Tesseract. A lot of the albums.
Tesseract, Monuments and Heart of a Coward came out of Fell Silent. Fell Silent were inspired by Sick.
I mean,
Sugar.
Aqua's the only member from Tesseract that actually is from Milton Keynes.
Oh yeah.
And Brown lived just outside of Milton Keynes.
Plus
bloody drive and pick him up.
Steve's from Brighton as well, isn't he? Steve's from Brighton, I'm from London.
Invocation that are playing here I actually they played on Friday.
Yes,
they're from Milton Keynes, so I remember them coming to the Fell Silent shows when they were quite young as well. It's quite cool to see them.
Yeah, great.
And then they did a band called I can't remember, they were another band, The Machinists.
Oh yeah, I remember.
They put that together and came back with Invocation, which I actually really like. Good band from Milton Keynes.
A couple of months. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, and there's Hacktivist as well, of course.
Oh.
From Milton Keynes.
A couple of months back on YouTube, over the song Shade, there was various people falling down, getting hit, and suffergrams came about, and that was just something that kind of sprang up organically and it went viral almost.
Yeah, we've got the Russians to thank for that.
Oh,
that's how it went viral.
Really, through Russia?
Yeah, it was through the Russians. That's why we were in Russia, funnily enough. because of that song. So I'm literally getting eaten alive here. I've got like 50 insects crawling.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of insects at Techfest.
It's been
Insect Fest, yeah.
it's been pretty. It's been not British. Let's say the weather has not been very British this weekend.
It's been like this.
It's been like this every single day.
That's good.
So
Russia was the same.
Yeah, Russia was pretty hot.
there's the camping site, and you have to be out of your tent by 8:30, or else you're going to suffocate and die.
Yeah.
Anyway, with the bugs eating you alive, we'll let you wrap up.
These little black, look, there's another one.
You're dying.
Yeah.
I think they're falling out of the tree.
Yeah, we're actually they're going to burrow inside and lay eggs, and I'm going to hatch shit everywhere.
So, any just last words to say before you get eaten
Yeah, we
alive?
don't like bugs.
They don't like
Fuck
bugs, don't like
bugs.
Chinese women.
Whiskey up.
Oh no, we like Chinese women, just not Chinese women that fucking talk at 1,000,000 decibels when I'm trying to get my
Yeah.
fucking sleep.
Try shutting the fuck up.
And yeah, new album will be out in November. Buy it.
Sweet.
Keep an eye out for that shit.
Get it.
Thanks a million, lads.
No worries.
There you go.